Okay, so I have a story to tell, and it's about this rock. Some people might not believe me, but you can see it does have sparkles. Oh, it's really hard. This camera does not like on video, I can't zoom in really close. It doesn't like it. But you can tell it does have sparkles. Anyway, the point about the sparkles is my story is that I have all these other pretty crystals, as you can see. The story is I last fall, 2022, I went on a hike, and I wasn't going through a park, it wasn't a national park, it was just a county park. And it was so beautiful. There was all these orange and yellow colored leaves and these big boulder rocks, and I was walking around and I just sat down on a I don't know, like a stump, just kind of do some meditating or whatever, and I felt a couple of energies around me, and I was like, who the heck is here? So I can see into the fourth dimension with my third eye, and I was like feeling out. There was a gnome and there was a fairy, and they were coming to say hello, and they were quite a pair. They were hilarious. They were funny, and the fairy was curious. They were both curious about me, and the fairy was very uplifting. She was a positive little perky little thing, and he was a bit moody and grumpy. But anyway, they were like, they started talking to me, asking me more. They were surprised that I could see them. I could see them with my third eye, and I could talk to them, and they were telling me that, well, the fairy slipped it out, and the gnome didn't like it. But she said, yeah, there's an entrance to inner world, inner earth. And she's like, there's a cave over here. And I was like, there's a cave? And I had no idea. I'd never been to this park ever, this nature place. I'd never been to it before. And I literally followed them through the forest. They led me right to this little cave. And it's this little cave. And I go in there and I sit down. There's like a big rock that you can sit on. And they said, yeah, there's an entrance right here. They're like, how is she going to fit in there? She can't fit in there. And I said, well, I have my light body. I can use my light body. She says, oh, yes, your light body. I said, I could be small if I want to. So I became smaller, and they led me inside the portal, and we went into the inner earth. And it was so beautiful. There was a bunch of fairies down there. There was gnomes. And you could see it went way down into the earth. And it was almost like you could see way down. And there was like a little city under there. And they had their homes were in the rocks, and they had, fauna and everything down there too. And then I said, do you guys have crystals down here? And the fairy was like, oh, yes, we do. She's like, then she was asking the gnome if if I can have a crystal. I want to see the crystals. He's like, all right, fine. And so he kind of grumpily took us over to one of the mines, and their mines, and it was a cave full of sparkly rock and gems, and I said, ooh, I want a sparkly one, and she said, yes, a sparkly one. Get her, can she have a sparkly one? And he's like, really? He's like, he didn't want to give me anything. But she was pretty persistent. She's like, come on, this. I said, I told him, I said, I would love to have a souvenir. And he's like, all right, fine. So he just took his little pixel axe and chopped one off. And he did straight down, right? And he wasn't too happy about it. As you could see right here, the video does not, you could tell where it was chipped, where the axe hit it, and it came right down. So then we had, they show us around. I met some of the other fairies, and the gnomes were busy at work. And then I heard drumming, and I was like, where's the drumming? Why am I hearing drums? And I was hearing the drums with my physical ears. And so I was like, I'm hearing drumming. They're like, oh, yeah, that's the dwarves. They're further down. I said, oh, wow. He's like, they don't come up much, but they are further down. And they do the drumming whenever they find something really valuable. I was like, wow, that is so cool. Well, then they lead me out. And the fairy, she says, I'll hold on to the rock. I don't trust him, she said, to not give it to you. So, and she promised that she would lay the rock at the entrance of the portal. And when I went back, and when we exited the portal and I went back into my physical body, I was looking around the cave near where I knew where the portal was. And the bottom of this cave is all muddy, and all the rocks in there are muddy because it was fall. And it was muddy and a bunch of leaves. And this was the only rock that had no mud on it. It was crispy clean. It was the only clear rock, and I remember in the cave it was a white rock, but it was sparkly, and I thought, this isn't really sparkly, of course. But then when I went outside, now if the sun was shining brighter, it's not a very bright day today, but if it was shining brighter, you could totally see. I went out into the sunlight, and I was like, oh my gosh, it does sparkle. There's a lot of sparkles. I'm wondering if this is limestone, though. Of course, the gnome didn't want to give me anything really super valuable, and I was kind of like, oh, man. But I truly believe this is the one that he gave me that was sticking out of, it was sticking out of the cave, and he let me have it. So this is a really great story. Like, most people probably wouldn't even believe me. Like my little gnome. He's my good luck gnome. But I truly believe it happened. The fact that I found this, and I mean, it was clean just like this. No mud on it at all. And you can totally tell that it had a clean cut. None of the rocks look like this. And I was like, this is the one. This is the one. And it made me so happy because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I have evidence. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all. And, these creatures, they're real. They are truly real. I've been seeing them since my childhood. fairies and gnomes, and I've had interactions with them. So the fourth dimension is coming in really strong now, and so is the fifth, but you have to raise your vibrations more in order to go to the fifth. To access the fifth dimension, you need to have high vibration. You need to be in that divine loving energy in order to get into the fifth, to reach the fifth dimension. And the only way you can get that is through love of yourself in the way that God loves you. Be the love that you so desire to have. It's the only way to truly understand what it means to love unconditionally.